And don't click off because I've got really good tips for you guys, so stay tuned. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. I was that person. I did quick weight loss centers, I did Weight Watchers, I took pills, I tried not eating at all of these different things to try and lose weight. Now, I know you guys are probably looking for me to say, hey, intermittent fasting is the best way to go, or you know, doing whatever, some type of program like Herbalife or something is the best way to go. But really, the best way to go is the way in which you're going to be consistent. So my first tip is to check yourself. Are you actually following whatever the program is? Whether you have a trainer and your trainer is giving you something, are you doing that? Are you doing it to the best of your ability? Are you going in the gym and just kind of like doing the machines and going through the motions? Like I was on the Stairmaster this morning and there's this girl there and she's like on the row machine and she's literally just kind of going through the motions, not actually doing the exercise with any type of intensity. So make sure that you're not putting like gym on your list of things to do and then you just go and you kind of, you know, you're on your phone, you're distracted and you're not actually having that muscle-mind connection or paying attention to what you're doing in terms of your cardio. And then you're kind of just wasting that 30 minutes or an hour, however long you set out to actually be at the gym. In terms of your eating, are you tracking everything that you eat if that's the way that you're going about it? Are you eating whatever is on your plan if you've been given a plan? Or are you deviating outside of those things? And let me tell you something, and this especially goes for my clients who like to do this. I like to use MyFitnessPal to keep up with my clients, and sometimes I don't see certain things tracked, and then we see something on the scale, or we see something in the measurements, or we see a loss of progress, and it usually always boils down to something is not being tracked. Oh yeah, I forgot I had this, or oh yeah, well I did go out and I did have a few drinks. So all of these little things that you may think are small add up in the terms of a week or a month or however long you're going as far as checking your progress. So you have to make sure that you're being honest with yourself, being honest with your coach, and putting in everything that you actually intake. Tip number 2. So for those of you who've been following me for a long time, like since I first started my journey, I had no idea what a cheat day was, and that was like a lifesaver for me, I'm realizing now. The problem with a cheat day, if you look at it from a mathematical calories in versus calories out standpoint, you can easily eat back any caloric deficit you may have been in throughout the week in one day. So my suggestion is if you must have a cheat, then make it a cheat meal only and don't allow it to turn into a whole day, which, you know, most people choose like Saturday or Friday, and then that kind of in turn turns into an entire weekend. And now you've lost all your progress that you made Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday, Friday through Sunday, or Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday. So you've got to make sure that you're being, you know, that you're taking accountability for the things that you are doing and that you're being very precise and intent on what it is that you're doing and what your goal is, meaning that you set out to have this goal. Having a cheat weekend is not going to help you to get there. What I would actually suggest, since this is a major lifestyle change, have a little cheat every day. It's all about portions. So look at your calories or your macros or however it is that you're tracking, even if you're tracking intuitively, and see, can I fit in this little thing? You know, like I have my cravings for ice cream and sweets, and those are the things that I love. So I'll have Halo Top, or I'll have Arctic Zero. Is that the name of it? I hope that's the right name. I'm like, I'm losing it for a moment. But the other low calorie ice cream. But those are the types of things that you can sneak in and have every single day versus like mentally getting yourself up and gearing yourself up for this cheat day or cheat weekend or cheat meal, and then you go completely overboard into a binge, and then you're back at square one, or even worse, you actually gained weight. All right, my third tip is going to be make sure that you're measuring your progress in more than one way. The scale is not enough. Throw away the freaking scale. The scale is an important factor when you're coming from a stance of losing a ton of weight. You're obese, you're morbidly obese, you need that tool. And that tool can even be used for someone who is smaller and maybe just has, you know, a small goal or small amount of weight. The problem with the scale comes in whenever you become obsessed with it, whenever you start a diet or a program and you've been doing it for a week, and then the scale says that you gained a pound, or the scale says that you didn't lose anything, and then you go, oh, well, this doesn't work. Well, that's where the problem comes in. We're not taking in body composition. So you're not looking at your body fat versus your muscle mass versus your water that you have in your body. So all of those things play important factors. Make sure you're doing things like measuring, taking pictures, using an item of clothing to track your progress, not just the scale. And that leads right into tip number 4, which is patience. I know it is so difficult, but there's no way that you could try a diet or a program or anything for, I really want to say like at least 2 months, but let's just say 4 weeks. And I mean 4 weeks of being consistent with all the other tips that I've already given you. Are you being consistent? You're tracking your food, you're being honest with yourself, you're intensely working out and doing your workouts the way they were prescribed. If you're doing all of that, you need to at least give it 4 weeks to see where you are. You can't just give something a day or a week and say, you know what, this isn't working. So patience is a virtue. Practice patience. It will pay off in the long run. All right, so my 5th tip is going to be, do not try to lose weight for an event. I know, it sounds crazy. I think an event is like a good goal to have, but the problem is sometimes people put too much emphasis on whatever it is that this event is, and what usually happens more times than not is that this event comes, you lose the weight for this event to fit into this dress, to fit into this suit or whatever, and then the event leaves and all of your motivation leaves. So putting all of your eggs in one basket of this event is not really such a good idea. Again, you can use this as a goal. I think that that's fine, but you've got to also have some other incentive in other areas that are outside of this event. This, I think, is the biggest tip, and that is to create a support system. So many people reach out to me with emails and everything, and they're like, well, Cookie, no one supports me. My family this, my family that, my husband this, my wife that. You cannot put your goal into someone else's hands. You cannot say, here, friends, you know, my goal is to lose weight. Now all of you gather around me and support me. That it's great if that does happen, but it probably will not. And if it doesn't, you can't allow yourself to fall off just because of that. So you've got to create your own support system. And what I mean by this is finding people who are already invested into this lifestyle and making friends with them. This is exactly what I did. I would go to classes, and there were people who, you know, would stand in the front row, and they're like the stars of the class, right? And you're like, oh, you know, one day I'll be able to stand up there and do that. And so these people would always smile, and so I would smile back, and next thing you know, conversation starts, or you know, they see me coming back all the time, and they go, hey, you look great. I remember the first day you walked in here. And so you start to establish those relationships. And for me, what happened in turn of that is that all of those front row people, shout out to you guys, y'all know who y'all are. But those were the people who actually in turn pushed me to become an instructor myself and started to take my classes years later. So you need those types of people in your life. Sometimes you cannot take the people that you already have currently and mold them into what you want them to be for you. People are only going to be who they are, and maybe it'll take them some time to come around and be able to support you, or maybe it will take you showing them that you're serious and making some progress for them to support you. But either way, I think it's very important to find somewhere. Subscribe to this channel. I will be your support system. The videos and everything that you see will help to give you some positive energy, some positive reinforcement, some tips, someone who is in the lifestyle. I wish that I had that whenever I was on my journey, so that's what I try to be to you guys. Guys, I know this process is hard, but it does not have to be miserable at all. There are so many tools and tips and groups and things that you can do that are fun, that will make you enjoy and love this process. Remember, change your mind, change your lifestyle. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.